Good afternoon, friends. We are learning our subject Data Visualization 3160717. In that, we want to learn the module 4, that is Introduction to D3.js. Right? Now, subject prerequisites are known to you. You already know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, right? This is the syllabus, what D3.js contains for us. Reference books are known to you. So let us start with the introduction to D3.js. What is D3? D3 is data-driven documents. D3 is data-driven documents. 3 times the D is there, right? D3.js is a JavaScript library for manipulating documents based on data. To manipulate the data, we are using the JavaScript library, that is D3.js. It is said that this D3.js is very faster. So for making say small graphs for small data, people are not using D3. People used to give the example like if you are having a machine gun, then you can fire so quickly that to fire 1 or 2 persons, you will not use it. For that, simple gun can be used, right? So the same thing is applied that D3.js is considered as very speedy like the machine gun. Okay, not that speed, but it is faster, right? See, we cannot compare the speed of machine gun and D3.js. Okay, this is the example people used to give for D3.js. Okay, D3 helps you bring data to life using HTML, SVG, and CSS. These things are known to us, right? Okay. D3's emphasis on web standards gives you the full capabilities of modern browsers without tying yourself to a proprietary framework. We do not need to have any particular framework. We can use the modern browsers and we can have the capabilities of D3.js, right? Combining powerful visualization components and a data-driven approach to DOM manipulation. What is DOM? That is document object model. For HTML, for what do we say is JavaScript, right? For all those things, we used to talk of the document object model, right? So D3 allows you to bind arbitrary data to a document object model and then apply data-driven transformations to the document. For example, you can use D3 to generate an HTML table from an array of numbers, or use the same data to create an interactive SVG bar chart with smooth transitions and interaction. Okay. D3 is not a monolithic framework that seeks to provide every conceivable feature. Instead, D3 solves the crux of the problem, that is, efficient manipulation of documents based on data. This avoids proprietary representation and affords extraordinary flexibility, exposing the full capabilities of web standards such as HTML, SVG, and CSS with minimal overhead. That is the benefit of D3.js. D3 is extremely fast, as I was telling you. It is like machine gun, right? So D3 is extremely fast, supporting large data sets and dynamic behaviors for interaction and animation. D3's functional style allows code reuse through a diverse collection of official and community developed modules. So how to do the setup of D3.js? So for that, we have to download the D3.js from this one, or otherwise that is the GitHub is there to download that, or otherwise what we can do is we can directly provide the online path, right? Either you download this d3.zip, extract the d3.js from it and put it in the same directory where you are creating your other files, right? That is your project directory, and use it as script source is equal to d3.v6.mean.js. This is the latest version. This v6 is the latest version. When you will see the examples on say d3js.org, you will find that it is having the version d3.v6. When you will see the examples from say tutorials point, so over there you will find that the version v4 is used, right? So whatever version you are using, that is, if you have downloaded from this GitHub, then you can say you have to write it as d3.v6. Otherwise, if you are writing it as d3.v4, in this case, it will not give you the output, right? It may be the case that if you are providing this full path, over there, d3 v4 version may be available, right? So that you may be able to use. So take care of it that whatever you have downloaded, use the same in the script source and put it in the same directory where you are creating your other files. And if you do not want to download it, you can directly use its online source, that is https://d3js.org/d3.v6.mean.js, right? So that we can use, and for that the script source we used to write. For canvas also, canvas.js also we were using something like this, so that is known to us. And one more thing is, for the idea, or you can say the tutorial regarding d3js is available at this d3js.org. You can use that, fine. Many other, see, you can do the Google search and find many other tutorial websites, but this is the original one, right? Or you can say the standard one for D3, okay? For Java, we used to consider Oracle, right? That way here for D3, we should use this particular website. Now, making selections, that is, we want to select a particular tag, or we can say that we want to select all the tags of say particular tag. What do you mean by that? See, if I want to select all p tags, then you can say that you are selecting all the p tags and you are applying some property, or otherwise I can say that I am selecting a particular p tag and setting some property. Okay, so this is what we want to do. So what we can do for that? Modifying documents using the W3C DOM API. DOM is document object model, that is known to us, is tedious. The method names are verbose, and the imperative approach requires manual iteration and bookkeeping of temporary state. For example, to change the text color of the paragraph elements. Paragraph elements, that is known to us, that is our p tag in HTML. Fine. So if we want to change the p tag, that is, we want to change the color, text color of the p tag, then what we can do is we have to iterate all the elements of our P. That is P tag we want to iterate, and for each and every item we will set its property. So for that what we can write is, see, prerequisite is JavaScript and you know that it is understood. Okay, so I'm showing you this. Variable paragraphs is equal to document dot get elements by tag name. We are getting the tags. Which tags we are taking? That is a P tag. We have taken it as get elements by tag name. That is the JavaScript method, right? So P tag we are taking and we are storing it in the variable paragraphs. This is not D3, okay? This is simple JavaScript code using DOM, right? That is document object model. People are typically using JavaScript's DOM to get the elements. Fine. Okay. So that's what we are using. Now, for each and every P tag, we want to set the property. What property we want to set? That is, we want to set the color, right? So for that, say we have to iterate this paragraphs array. So how do we do that? For variable I is equal to 0, I is less than paragraphs dot length and I plus plus. The similar code like Java, right? But this is not Java. This is JavaScript. And you already know the difference between Java and JavaScript, right? Java is a language that is used for standard programming. And JavaScript is what? It is scripting language, right? So the difference is known to you, isn't it? Variable paragraph is equal to paragraphs dot item I. We are taking one by one item from this particular variable. This is our array, isn't it? So one by one item we are taking, and then after we are setting the property, that is paragraph dot style dot step property color. The value is blue, right? So this is what we want to do, and third parameter is null. So you can say that if we want to use this DOM API, it is tedious. Tedious in the way that we should know with say paragraph, what is the style, what is the function name, is it set property, is it set color, what it is, that we should know, we should remember, and then after we can do this. But for D3, it makes our life simple, cool, isn't it? So let's see that also. Let me show you this example first of all, that we are changing the color, right? So if you people do not know JavaScript, then also you can learn that. Fine. Let me show you the example. Here I am having the Sublime editor. Simple JavaScript. Yeah, here it is. Simple JavaScript, right? The way we have written the code, I have shown you this code, right? This I am showing you here in the HTML editor. Okay. This is simple. I think it is visible to you. Let me make it a bit bigger so you can see it properly. Fine. See, now what I have written in this. This is the changing attribute. Attribute value, right? That is color is one attribute for our P tag, and that value we are changing, but this is using DOM, right? Using the DOM. So now what we are doing is, say in body tag, P tag I have written, and I have written it as my name is Dr. Ami Choksi. Second P tag also I have used, that is say my father's name is Mr. Tusharkant Choksi. Fine. Now for this we want to apply the color as blue, right? So the code which we have seen in the presentation, that's what I have written here. In the script type text JavaScript, we have written this code. You can say, ma'am, here you haven't specified the d3.js source. Yes, I haven't, because this I am showing for simple JavaScript and DOM, right? I am not using d3.js. I want to say that it is so tedious. I have to remember the property name, and this iteration also I have to do. I have to write the for loop. All these things I have to do for JavaScript. Simple JavaScript. It is not d3.js. Okay, so that is tedious, but that also gives us the output. Okay, so let me show you the output of it. Let me open this here. The simple JS, right? Simple JS. We can see the output, right? What we have done is the property name. We have property name. No, the text of our p tag. We have set the color as blue, right? This is what we have done. This is the output we are getting. This was what? This paragraph dot style dot set property color blue and none, right? So this way we have set the property and we have changed the color of our p tag as blue, right? So many tedious tasks we have to do if we are applying the JavaScript, right? So what to do? We will use the D3 and it will make our life simple. How it makes our life simple? Let me close this now, right? We have seen the output. Okay. So now let us proceed. Yeah. Okay, fine. Now making selections, that is using the 3.js. Okay. In this we have set the property color of our p tag as blue, right? We have just seen the output. Fine. Okay. Let's proceed. D3.js has to select elements from the HTML page using the two methods. They are the select and select on. Now what is that? Select method selects only one DOM element by matching the given CSS selector, that is color or background color or any other property, right? Say a font is there, then you can say font style is there, right? Font size is there. So they are the CSS selector. Okay. CSS is cascading style sheet. It is known to you. Fine. So if there are more than one elements for the given CSS selector, it selects only first one. What it says that in the example here, what we were having in the example here, we were having two p tags, right? In the example we have just seen, in that we were having two p tags. So from that, it will only apply to first p tag. It wants to say that. Okay. Now, if we want to select all, that is, we have to use the select all method. Select all DOM elements by matching the given CSS selector. Selects all the DOM elements. That means what example I have shown you just now, in that both the p tags, or if I am having more than p tags over here, more than this two, then to all of them it will apply, right? Not in this code, okay? This is for our simple JavaScript. I am only showing you that if it is having more than two p tags in the HTML file, then too it will apply to all the tags because we are using the method that is select all, right? So what it does, selects all DOM elements by matching the given CSS selector. So if I am selecting p tag, a tag, say any other tag, that will be selecting, right? And what its property we can set. If you are familiar with selecting elements with jQuery, d3.js selectors are almost the same. Okay. So let us use this method, select and select all, and let's see how to change the values, or not change, at least first of all set the values, isn't it? And if once it is set, then after if you are setting again, then it is called the change, isn't it? Okay, so let's see. D3 employs a declarative approach, operating on arbitrary sets of nodes called selections. What do we mean by selections? That is, declarative approach D3 is using, operating on arbitrary sets of nodes, and that is called the selections. Okay. Okay. So now we want to apply the select methods, select and select all, right? So how we can do that? That is D3 dot select all. Instead of the whole loop we have just seen previously, this whole loop is there. Instead of that, what we can do is we can use very simple, that is D3 dot select all, and P, that is for P tag we want to apply, then dot style, we can provide the CSS selector, that is color, and its value is blue. Very simple, isn't it? Yet you can still manipulate individual nodes as needed. For that, we can say d3.select body dot style background color as black, right? You can set it. Here you are setting the color of all the p tags of our HTML page as blue. Here what we are doing is d3.select body. In our HTML page only one body tag is there, right? For that we are setting the style, and that is the CSS selector. That is what CSS property is background color, and what color we are setting is black, right? Selectors are defined by the W3C Selectors API and supported natively by modern browsers. Great, isn't it? The above examples select nodes by tag name, that is P and body respectively. Elements may be selected using a variety of predicates including containment, attribute values, class, and ID. Fine. Now, D3 provides numerous methods for mutating nodes, setting attributes or styles, registering event listeners, adding, removing, or sorting nodes, and changing HTML or text content. This suffices for the vast majority of needs. Direct access to the underlying DOM is also possible, as each D3 selection is simply an array of nodes. Let's see one by one and see the output, what we have just seen, and we can have the idea. Fine. So for that, let's see all P attributes. What we want to do is all P attributes value we want to change. We want to change this, we want to set the color, right? All P tag, right? All P tag, that is this one. I can write it this way, fine. Okay, all P tags attribute value. Attribute value, that is which attribute? For P tag, we want to have the color attribute, and we want to set, or we can say that if it is already set, we want to change it, right? This is what we want to do. So we'll be using the select all, as well as we will be using the select method, and we want to do it, right? Let me show you. This was our simple JavaScript file, right? Now, let me open this here. It is better. Yeah, selecting changing attribute. Okay, you can see it here, fine. It is properly visible to you. Now, D3 selection, right? We want to do D3 select Script type is equal to text slash JavaScript. Source is equal to https colon double slash d3.js.org slash d3.v6.me.js. Right? We have provided the complete path, the real path for our JavaScript library. Which library? d3.js. Right? Okay. Now what? The same two p tags I have returned here. T tag, my name is Ami Choksi, my father's name is Tushar Khan Choksi, right? Both the way I have given, both the way, not both the way, we can say that two p tags I have given. Fine. Now, we are using the select all with D3. So what we are doing? Script type text slash JavaScript, D3 dot select all, p tag, dot style, color and pink. So I'm setting its color as pink. Okay, let me open this in the browser. Here, let us open this. Selecting, changing attribute, right? We can see, wow, pink color we are able to see, and our p tag text is returned here, right? Now, here, if I want to see for only one select, that is, we want to set the color. Which color? Background color. Background color for our body tag. Then what we do is we are using the three dot select. Only one tag we want to select, right? Only one tag. And if say many tags are there for the same, then whatever is the first one that we want to use, right? Okay. So D3 dot select body dot style, background color, comma, red, right? Now, if I do this way, then will we be able to see the color? Maybe. Fine, let's see the output. We can have the idea. First of all, we have to save this. We have uncommented this, right? So save it. Now, I'll reload this, right? This is red color background is being set and this is pink color text. If we are not able to see it properly, we can change its color, right? So here, instead of this, say I am putting it as white. We can see that, nothing more than that, isn't it? Yeah, so now it is clearly visible, right? So what we have done is we have used the select all and select. Select all we have used for all p tags and select we have used for what? Body tag, right? Okay. Fine. Now, only this? No, we want to do something more. Now, we want to use the random function. That is, we want to set the random color. Random color we want to set. For that, I am using the A tag. For P tag also you can do. I have here done for A tag. Okay, so ahref that is equal to www.ckpcet.ac.in, right? Our college URL. So that's what I have specified here. Now, for that, here I am using d3.selectOn. In this, you can say only one A tag is there. Fine, you can write more than that also. But I want to use select all. So I am using that. D3.select all. A tag is there. Dot style. So what is our CSS style? So that is color. Then directly till now we were giving the color that was, we can say, white or pink or red or yellow. We were giving that. Now instead of that, what I am giving here is function. Now this function, what it does, it returns. It returns the value and that value will be set over here. Now for that return, what is used? It is calling the standard function of JavaScript, that is HSL. HSL is hue, saturation, lightness. Typically, we are using the RGB model, that is R, G, and B values we have to provide. Here we are using hue, saturation, lightness model, right? In computer graphics, you may have studied that. Okay, so this we are setting, and for that, what we want is we want to use the random function. Okay, so for that, first of all, we are using the HSL, that is hue, saturation, and lightness, and in that we want to use the random function. So what we are giving is, we are giving it as the math.random HSL. After that we can say math.random multiplied by 360 plus 100% and 50%. That means whatever is coming for the first value, that is h, that is coming with the help of this math.random multiply by 360. Another one is 100% and third one is 50%, right? For h as cell, three values we are giving. So now what it does, that is for the color of a tag, it is taking the value which is being returned by this function. Okay, inline function we can say, it is being provided. Fine. Now let us reload this output, isn't it? Because in the same file we have changed. Yeah, now we are able to see CKPCT, right? Just now it is showing me blue color. Let me reload it. The color is changed, right? Again reloading, changing. Yellow, blue was there, then light blue was there, now yellow. This is greenish, right? White, yellow. We are able to change the color, right? Randomly, whatever color is given, whatever number is given for h value, that way we are able to set the color, right? So that is what is there. Refresh the page as many times, you will see different colors, right? Of CKPCT link. Now, changing selections attribute. Now, what we are doing with this, that is to alternate shades of gray for even and odd nodes. We want to set a different color than what to do, right? So for that, we are using the three dot select all style color function of B and I. Now for the implementation of that function, what we are doing is return I remainder 2. If it is true, then we'll be setting this FFF, or otherwise we'll be setting the color as hash EEE. You can say this hash EEE. See, we know that for HTML we are typically using hash, and then after say two values for R, two values for G, two values for B, right? This way we used to set. Let us use it in our same code and see what output we are getting. Let me show you this here, right? So I'm putting it in comment. This is JavaScript, so we can use the comment like this. Okay, here also I'm setting the comment. So we can change in the same file, right? Okay. So now here I'm writing it as d3.selectAll style color and writing the function to give the output. This is for what? This is for different color for odd and even, right? So let us see the output of it. Here I'll be refreshing, right? My name is Dr. Ami Chakshi. Am I able to see the other thing? No, I'm not able to see. So what to do? Let me put this background color as This one, right? Red. Now let's see. Background color is red and text as, right, FFF or EEE, right? Let me see. Can you see the difference? This text is gray text, gray, and this one is white text, right? This is gray text. You may be able to see that, or otherwise we can change the color. This is white, right? It is FFF, and for this one, let me make it blue. So it is R says 0, G is say FF, no, G is 00, and this is FF, right? So RGB, right? If you want to set, like, red color, so let us put it blue only. Fine. This is the way we are using it. Let me put it here. Fine. Now different color we are able to see, right? Green color we have set, right? Green color we have set, and then after we can say we are able to see this one, right? White text. Okay. Different color we are able to see. I mean to say that for odd and even. Okay. So that's what we can set using this simple function, right? Now, blue, we have set the green color, right? Okay, not the blue color. Now, selection by class name. In CSS, typically we are using the classes, right? In CSS, typically we are using the classes. So, how we can set how we can get the selection using the class name. So, for that we can say we are having tag div class is equal to my class. If we want to get the text for that, what we want to do is very simple thing is we are not setting any property. We are only giving the alert. In JavaScript, we used to give the alert like this, right? So alert d3.js, sorry, d3.select dot my class. In CSS classes, typically whenever we want to use, we can use it as dot my class. When we are specifying div class, it is my class, but after that we can use it as dot my class, right? Dot text, so it will get the text of it and it will display here. Fine. So only this. No, let's see the code so you can have the idea. Select by class, right? Okay, so here it is for div. My class is that if you want to write it 100%, then you can write it here, right? Hello world, and then after and div, right? The way we have written the code. This is only the thing which I wanted to show you, but you can see it, understand it very properly. Right? So here we can say that this script is had script type text slash JavaScript source is equal to https d3js.org/d3.v6.main.js. See, when we are looking at the other example, and if you see it this way, you can remember that very easily, right? That's why I'm speaking. Otherwise, you know that we have to use this URL. Okay, it is not the thing that you don't know, but you can remember that. While you see the things again and again, you can remember that. Fine. Okay. So here in the body tag, we have written it as div class that is equal to my class. Here you can see when I'm selecting it, it is showing me dots, right? Here also it is showing me dots. What is that? That is the space, right? How many spaces are put here? How many spaces are put here, right? Good one, editor, isn't it? Okay, so div class is equal to my class and some text we have written. Okay, now we are writing the script inside that using the alert as we want to see the alert box. Now, is that our aim? No, our aim is to use the d3.select for the particular class, that is the my class. So how we can do that? It is very simple. D3.select in double quotes dot my class dot text. That will give the text for this one, this class. Whatever is the text that it will give us. Fine. Okay, and let us run this so we can have the idea. I have already shown you the output here, but still let us open that here file. Class, selecting class, right? So here we are able to see hello world, right? If I do okay, then it gives me the hello world. You can see it was giving the red background. No, it was for the previous output, right? Previous file output. Fine. Now let me have this reload. You can see that now it is white background. So is it set in this file? No, it is not set in this file. It was showing the output of the other, and first of all, it was giving us the alert. And alert will not go unless you press OK here. Right? So after you press OK, you are able to see the text hello world, and that is what it is, the alert with this one was there, right? And you can see this was the alert, the box we were able to see. When we press OK, we are able to see this hello world, right? We are able to see this hello world. Now let us proceed. Selection by ID. Now in div, we used to have the ID also, isn't it? So for that, let us use the select method and see the things. Every element in HTML page should have a unique ID. We can use this unique ID of an element to access it using select method is something like this. That is d3.select. In double quotes, we have to write hash as this is ID. Okay. When it was div class, that time we have directly used it as d3.select and that class name. If you remember here, right? Here we were having the alert where we can say that d3.select my class. My class was that. That was for class. Here this is ID. So for ID we have to provide the hash and then after ID of the element, right? So that's what we are providing here. Here div ID is equal to hello, and for alert, or if we are not using alert, then too it is fine. For any other thing we may have used. So for that, we'll be using it as d3.select dot hash hello in double quotes dot text, right? We will be able to have the text, and what we'll be able to see is this alert, right? This alert. Let me show you that by running it here. Selection by ID, right? This was selection by class. Now we want to have selection by ID, right? So you can see that we are able to see the hello world, right? Okay, then we are able to see the hello world. You can see, ma'am, it seems same. Okay, let me change this hello world by ID, right? So let me have this text in our real code, that is this one, fine. Okay, by ID. So you can see the difference, isn't it? This is our class. Okay, by class. This was class. Okay, here, where is that file? Yeah, here it is. Okay, this is div ID is equal to hello. Fine. So let me write it here. Okay. Now let us see the output. Here we have written hash hello, right? Remember that. Now let's see the output. Here selection by ID is there. I am refreshing that. So it says hello world by ID. Okay, we are able to see the same text, isn't it? So that is selection by ID. Now modifying the elements. How? We are having say d3.js, which provides the methods like HTML, attribute, and style to modify the content and style of the selected elements. So for that, let's see we are using the HTML method. So what it is used? It is used to set the HTML content of the selected or appended elements. So what is that? Let me use that. Yeah, let me show you that where it is here. Control O HTML method, right? This is HTML method. Here, right. Here, this is HTML method, right? Okay, fine. So what is the case? We are using div class is my class. Fine. Okay. Hello world is there. Okay. Now what we want is we want to use the HTML method. Why we want to use it? Because it is used to set HTML content of the selected or appended elements. Fine. Now let's see that script d3.select dot my class, because for classes we have to use dot my class. Now we are using the method that is HTML. So dot HTML. Now here I am giving the text as hi students. I am giving span tag that is from d3.js and span, right? What was actually there for the text? That was hello world. What we are doing is we are selecting or appending the elements using HTML, and where we are setting the text as hi students span from d3.js and span, right? Now let's see the output. Yeah, here it is, right? The same code is here which I have shown you. Yeah, here I have changed the text, right? You can see that it was for hello world and that is only the output it is showing. Now let me show you the text is changed, that is hello CQPCT loud ones, that is you students, right? And when we are changing the not actually we are changing, but we can say that we are appending the value, and that is this will be replaced plus this span we are adding, right? Let me show you that. This is for what? This is HTML method, right? Let me show you the output. Control O HTML method, right? We are getting the output hi students from d3.js. Hi students from d3.js. Where has this gone? Where has this gone? It is being replaced with hi students, and this span is also being appended, right? That's what we are able to see. We can see the page source. Right click, view page source. So we can see that. What is that? It shows the same code which we have written, right? Okay. Now we want to see the attribute method, what it is useful for. The method is used to add or update the attribute of the selected elements. We want to add or update the attribute. So let's see that div class is equal to my class. Hello world is here. We want to change the attribute, right? Okay, so for that we can say d3.select dot my class dot attr attribute method, then style, and we are giving the style as color colon red. So till now we were not using that. Till now we were only giving it as say in first quote. I mean in first double quote we were giving it as color, and in second we were giving red and something like this. But here what we are doing is we are using the method that is attr, that is for attribute. Here we need to provide the style we want to set, and that style, that is CSS style. In CSS style, whenever we set, we have to write it as color colon red, right? We cannot directly write it as color here and then after red here, right? That was the case where, what was the case? That was something like this, dot style, color and white. That is, style was already provided, right, as the style function name. Then we have provided a particular style, and then we have provided its color. Here what we are doing is, here we are specifying the attribute function, that is attr function. Then for style we want to change, so we are providing style, and what style we want to change, or what style we want to set is color color red, right? So we want to specify the attribute style. So let me show you that attribute method, right? We can see the output, that is the red color, right? Which is we have set here, right? Color color red, right? Now we want to see the style method. So what is that? Now, if we are using the style method, we will be using color and then after red, which we were using till now, isn't it? This we have revisited because we are using the three method, HTML, ATTR and style, right? So we have revisited that. This is known to us, but still if we want, we can see the file. That is the style method. Yeah, here it is, right? So what we do is div class, my class. Before that, we were not using the class. For here, we are using the class. Then after we can say d3 dot select dot my class dot style color and red, right? When we see the output here, here, say opening the file. This is the style method for us, right? Style method for us, okay? And that's all for today.